Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ontoor Solutions. This is Ashish Sahai, and today with me Vikas Pandey. One of my friend. So he's been with me for a long time. Right now, today we are planning to discuss on Oracle Apex definitions, which is resides under the shared component. And how is it? So we can have a quick words from Vikas, and then we quickly jump to our discussion. Hey, what's up, Vikas? It's been a long time. We had discussed.
Yeah, after a long time no see you. I don't know where you are disappeared. Yeah, so I hope you are doing well.
Oh, it's quite busy.
Yeah, I
Um,
understand. You have too much of work related to
a
job
lot,
and
a lot
your
of work,
business.
a lot of family. Oh, it doesn't matter whether you're in business or what, but too much busy with conferences and all. But okay, let's anyway. So today's
Yeah.
agenda kind of we have to clarify, a couple of stuff on the Oracle Apex application definition. And let me share my screen and we'll quickly just jump into that. Uh, you just let me know when you can see my screen,
Hmm.
and screen should be visible.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
can see.
Okay, so if we look at any standard typical application page designer, so it should look like something like that, where you have all the pages and shared component, run application, supporting object. So under the shared component, the very first under application logic, application definition is our today's plan to discuss on. We'll go one by one each stuff what we have down below, and we'll see how we can utilize other stuff as well. Okay, one by one, if we see, which is like under the name, we have application, which has the integer number like 230. What does it mean really? It is an application's unique ID inside your workspace. So this one you can, give the name of this, give the ID of it basically while you're creating the application. So that's for that. You can only do it once while you're creating. You can't basically change it anytime further. What you have to do is just remove the application, recopying. So that's the only thing. But it is read only once you create the application. Next thing is the application name, which is when you run the application. If I show you, uh, whatever you see or wherever you want to see, it's kind of stuff you see there. So the application name field can be visible on the multiple places. If you log in, the banner can display the same stuff, but it is just to define the application name. And another stuff, would say point number 3, if you see, which is application alias. It is like without any white spaces, you need to put this one, any unique identifier within your workspace, like the application ID. So it should be the very similar matter of having unique application definition. So while you're running the page, if you realize we have 230 in the URL, very same, you can use the application definition as well, like this one. And if you try to run this, you'll get the same kind of application rendering. So these two are, if you don't want to share your application ID to the customers, you can just use application alias. um, Moving ahead for the fourth point, which is version. It is application version, you can call it. Right now you're seeing here, we can put something like hard coded like version 1. And if you save it, so under down below, if you see, it shows something like that. You can keep updating it whenever your application is getting upgraded, or as Oracle suggests uh, you know some of the possible things you can put in, like the date format. If you want to put, anytime you're running and you want to show your customers the real date of the application, real version of the application, something like that you can show. So it will use the application version kind of. So these all the identifiers are provided already. Moving ahead for the fifth one, which is under the name itself, application group. It is totally developers useful group. You can have multiple application in your workspace, And within the workspace, you might need your applications to be grouped, like if you have administrator applications, so you need to put them in a group. Like if you see there, we have the sample apps, we have the multiple application within the sample apps group, we have the like theme work group. So these kind of group you have. And they are quite useful, when you are working in a workspace where tons of applications you could see. If you just go and under the filter, columns must be showing the application group. This group, actually, if you put this one is a selection, and like group is this one. So if you don't put any application within the group, so it'll help you to filter out your application. Let's say I just wanted to work on sample apps, so these two are coming under sample apps group. So this is the best use of these groups, basically. Okay, moving back to the next one, if I see again, shared component definition. So this is all about the name under this is first basically definition. Second part, which is properties, it has the variety of things to discuss on. First thing under the property, if you see the friendly URL, by default this is disabled, and you see our URL. If you have this is disabled, our application URL should be like application domain, then you have the ORDS or apex, then you have the F question mark P, and that equals to it goes the application ID or the alias, and then page number and session and blah 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 it goes to. So this is quite quite not user friendly kind of URL. So what we do as in Apex has this feature on. If you enable the friendly URL and just save it and try to just you say log out it, and now if you realize that the URL just changed, ORDS right after you have the R, and then you have web. Basically these are the workspace alias and the schema aliases, and then you have the application alias. That application alias is pretty useful when you have the friendly URL enabled. This is pretty this is going to be used when you have anytime the friendly URL enabled. So, and then it is the page, which page you are working on, and then furthermore it has the session and other parameters if you want to pass. If you log in now, you see that the next thing till here is the application path, and then you have the application page on which you are working on. If you just go to another page like administrator, so you see that another page is just changed to admin. So this is the friendly URL thing. And going forward, if you see the allow feedback is a kind of option in the application definition, which basically enables end users to put some feedback for the developers. For example, if I show you on the top right, if you see this comment icon and you click on it, so that is the feedback option where you can something like that. Yeah, I liked the app, something like that. Customers can comes in and they just put you the feedback, and you can simply see that. If you don't want to see, or you don't want to allow users to give any feedback, so you just need to disable it. And just if you see that comment or feedback option is gone from your application. So if you want to get some feedback from the users, then you must enable it. And if you really want to see the feedbacks, then there is, I think, what do we call it, workspace utility, right? And where should we see the feedbacks or feedbacks under the team development? So I have just added one feedback. If we click on, so you see another one feedback I just added. I like the app.
Right.
And what kind of feedback was, and there should be one more thing in this, which app it was involved to. So 230 was the application ID. So this is the feedback function, which is quite useful when you when your application in the way user is using kinda and it broke sometime or some other functionality, user can just let you know, okay, this is the place where you need to work on your application. Somewhere your QA
Mhm.
or your any environment doesn't just pick this up or
Uh,
figured it out.
yeah, Ashish, sorry to cut you in between. Could you please help me with the? Could you please recall like which version this feature or this item will introduced? So this will help for me and viewer as well. Could you
Okay,
please recall this?
for this one, I generally don't remember this stuff, but I put this one in a one place so that we can see in which version it goes on. I have one
Mhm.
of the application in my workspace. We'll see in the end, like all the if you want, we can show there which version it has been introduced. I have all the basically versions, and you can compare the version by version, which Apex version introduced what feature. So we'll see
Mhm.
that further.
Okay.
But let's move on for other stuff. If you see, it's logging. Logging is when you basically navigate through your application, and we by default Apex logs multiple activities. If you see, like in on which page you are working on, something like that. If you see activity logging is set, uh, which page you viewed basically. So kind of stuff, you can say user activities logging thing. If I show you right now, you see the logging is enabled, and I have added the page. Okay, I have added the page of administration, and under that page, if you see the page views. So for example, right now, if you see, I'm on the administration 11 seconds ago, and I was on the home page 3 minutes ago. So if I go further, let's say close it and go on another page, let's say on dashboard, and then further I go on users and just go back and see the page views. So it will show me, like I was on the activity dashboard, I was on the manage users, something like that. So all these stuff, if you see, we generally logs basically if you enable it. And if I disable this page, this option is and apply changes, right now if you see 2 seconds ago was the last log thing, and I was on the manage user access. And if I close and I go to theme selection, close it, user feedback, close it, and that's access control, everything. I crawled around the application. If I close it, so there will be Apex page views on 30 seconds ago. So you see that it didn't log any more further, right? And if you just
Right, right.
enable it again and just save it, and right now you see the page views was the last. And let's say what page we haven't went any more, access control again, right? And close it, you go on page views, so you see the page views, then I was on access control. So it will show you all the logging activities on which page you were on. You can filter it out. So there is a lot of features available in the this administrator console. You can just
So
add these.
this will work only for the page or all over the application where user is end user is moving only for the application level, right?
That's I think on the
Like
application level. Yeah, I believe. Yeah,
only
and
for the
I
end user.
end users. Yeah, exactly. That's for the end users.
Okay.
And next option, if you are wondering what's for the developers, let's see that. So furthermore, if you see that debugging option, which allows users to debug. If you see the option, whenever you basically want to basically catch the any debugging problems coming up, or say any issues in the application, you could just simply enable the debugging, and you can at the runtime you can debug the application. If you disable it, you won't see that debug option. So let's try to run this one. Right now debugging is on. If we go on the any application page, I'm on this one. So you see on the toolbar there is a debug option, there is a menu. If you see, I can basically do the debugging on the info level or app trace or whatever. So if I disable the debugging option and change the save changes, and I relog, right now I'm seeing it. I think probably I need to log off. Uh, okay, let's pick this up later. Let's not paste on this one. Okay, relog in again. For the debugging, we'll just quickly catch up let's repick up later on. Next option, if we see, it's compatibility mode, which shows from the very beginning, pre 4.1 and 4.2 coming till down, I think 21, 23. So this option is like which kind of version Oracle Apex is providing you all the features like the universal theme components. And if the component is not available in any of the version, then you need to just make your application available. For example, if it is on 19.2 and then further till 21.1, you should not be able to get all the new features in the a universal theme. If you really want to use those feature in the universal theme, then you need to make your application compatibility mode to the latest one. We suggest always make your application compatible. If there is any new version coming up, just change it to the latest one. It's I think not by default changed for the newly created application. It's the recent always, but for the old application you need to change it. So that's there. And a few stuff, when you refresh your theme, then that is like all the new component will be updated based on your compatibility. So if you are refreshing your theme and your compatibility mode is lower than the theme version, it would just ask you to change your compatibility mode to the recent one. So if you keep it to the recent one, latest one, I would say, then it will be pretty I think easy to upgrade the component from the you know new universal theme components. If we check out the furthermore stuff, application email from address. So it's like by default, if you see all the server configuration email SMTP configurations in your premise or in your cloud where your Apex is installed, then it generally picks up the from email from throughout your application. If we see, do we have any? I think this one, if we see, so there is one of the send email stuff. If we see, yeah, something like that. So here we can from the application we can share some emails, right? From it, we can just put the particular report as a download, and you can add two emails, CC, BCC, and the subject, the body. If you really want to change the from address, so it has to be in the what do you say SMTP server configuration you have done. For current presentation, we could just simply add something like let's say one of my email address in from, and if I save it, so this won't send the email, but we can show you like how it works. And if I put something, let's say one of the email 461, if I'm not wrong, 641.
Right, right.
Okay, so that is the email address of the charming guy we have in our call. So if you if you click on send, so it will send the email with the file. But since I don't believe we have the configuration set up already, so if you see, I could show you what Oracle does, basically send it into the queue. And I can show you what is the email we have just sent. So um, from email is this what recently we have sent? Is it this one? Demo search body. Da, da, da. Okay, not that.
No, this was
Uh,
not.
this was not right. Okay, let's check,
Right.
recheck again. So there was the email address, and let's send again. Download. Hmm. Okay, if I just pick up the this one, and let me pick up one of my email again to CC. Try to send this, something like that. So email should be sent. Oh, it's not showing it. Okay, let's look at some other, let's say other app, something like that. We have as in grid as well. Let's test in the grid. How does it work? So this is the from to not to. It's pretty same. Let's just test this out. This one should be test email and test email. Interactive report is showing some problem. Email has been sent. And if I quickly check, so yeah, that's triggered. So this is the bottom one we have done. From is to is this one, and from we have whatever we have configured over here. So if we try this one again with Vikas's email, and let's see this one. So we are sending it to Vikas and CCing it to me in another email. Not, we are not using any BCC now. Second email. Okay. And let's say test body, try to send it again. If we check this one, so there should be third email. Okay, so there is a problem with the particular email address actually. So if you send it to this email, it works, but for that email is showing it's a configuration problem we have. So
I think while writing, you kept a space.
was that the problem? Okay. Test email. Okay, let's try again. Send now, and quickly just go. We are sending it to this, no spaces now. And sending it to me, no spaces. Test email. Okay, hang on. Okay, here if we can put dummy text, let's send now. It sends the email. And if we hit now, so we have the 4 emails.
Yes, this one.
Oh, this one to this. No, recent one. What is the recent
Yeah,
one?
the test email.
Put the order by one.
Order by ID.
Okay. We are sending it to this. From is this. Yeah, correct, right? So we have sent it to Vikas, and from email, what we have configured here in the application definition. And CC was, I've changed it to this one, and subject was this. If you see the body, there was dummy text added. So, okay, yeah,
I
that
think we
works.
were doing same issue with the interactive report. That's the reason
Oh,
mail was
probably,
not sent.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay. We could simply check it again if there is. It should be working. Let's go to download, go there. Let's send it to right now 2 for me and
Could
CC.
you please push all the so that could you please push all the mail so that it
I
should be
haven't
only
configured
one.
the email. That's on the OCI, and I haven't paid it to the Oracle for the email. That's why. So we need to
Okay.
bear with the select query and
Oh,
send it now. Okay,
okay.
this time we did, and let's hit. Yeah, it works. I think. You see, other mails are gone from the queue somehow, and
Oh,
this is to. This is from. Subject was Ontoor solution, and body was C attached. So yeah, it
hmm.
works. I think there was the space was the problem.
Space. Right,
Okay,
right, right.
so that is about the email address. Next option is proxy server. So this is for basically when you have a multiple application in your workspace, and then you really want to give them, specific user URL. Basically, if I say, for example, if you see this one, I could see epix.ontoorsolutions.com, and then it goes to the application alias. So that is the specific URL for this particular application. But what if you have multiple application in your workspace, something like administrator, something like HRMS? So you might need to give them different URL. So to do so, we need this proxy server setting. So if I show you, for example, let's say something like, let's say Vikas dot, let me put something meaningful, dot ontour solutions.com, and it should be HTTPS. So this kind of URL, as in proxy server, we want to give it. And if I apply changes, so changes are saved. So currently this application is running on the apex.ontoorsolutions.com. But if I now run it, so what it should be giving me, it should be giving me, all the rendering through this particular URL. So this domain should be, pointing out to that particular application as well. So it will help us for, segregating multiple applications. Like if you have seen gmail.google.com, then drive.google.com, something like that. So to achieve this one, what we need to do, you need to go to your domain provider. And for this one, we have a particular IP for our server. And if I add a record to, this subdomain, what we have used here as in Vikas, and then domain we already have, and the IP we need to put this one. So that's a record we are using. And if we go to the custom, it is just a refresh rate. If I go and then save it, and right after the saving, if you keep reloading in, after a couple of time, it should be application. Once the GoDaddy is ready to map the proxy server, you should be able to see the same application as it is running here, should be accessible through this particular URL. Let me try in the incognito mode as well. And it will take couple of, okay, we can slightly
Around
wait.
how much time it took?
We have given the 600 frequency. So you see, it is giving up now. So not
Mhm.
secured. You can see, initially it was giving us, no access for the site. But now it is giving me HTTPS, as in, you don't have the certificate. It is certificate error. For our this
Mhm.
particular instance on the OCI, we don't have the certificate for this subdomain. We need to include that certificate. But for now, what I could do, I could just ignore the certificate and access this one. You see, so we can access other stuff. And over here, if we just change the, what do we call, the application stuff,
Application.
probably I think we could see other way, but this is the way as of now I have find. I will figure out other stuff if we could just do this much more better way to understanding this proxy server settings. So you see the same application is accessible here as well. And so that's for the proxy server settings. And no proxy domains. Here you can put, multiple domains which you don't want to do the proxies. Like we have the internal, kind of keywords in our, Apex workspaces or something. Uh, For multiple workspaces, we don't want to give such aliases to other proxy domains. So we can restrict them from here. And you can put all the domains. It is only available when you enable the proxy, and when you don't use any proxy, it just removes, this option. So this is when you want to exclude the proxy server settings, proxy server domains basically. So this is on this one. um, Oracle text function, if we look at, so this is when you start searching your application. uh, what we could do, we have a quick example over here. So it has a pretty rich text report, and there is nothing as such placed as an Oracle text. And if we try to search some text, let's say medical, right? Something like that. And you can search the document. So you find the data and you just can see it. What if you have some spelling mistake, something like that, A to the E, and you search it, you don't see anything. So to overcome this stuff, what really we can achieve this thing, using Oracle text. For this one, I have the sample application in our, I would say, Oracle provided, we call it. Sample application there. They have placed pretty wonderful examples, so I would love to share that. Under the utility, we have the interactive grid sample application. Under that, if you see the Oracle text, this is the sample what they have placed now. Over there, if you see, on this one, by default in your workspace, you will see this. If you don't have the CTX app role, which is basically allows users to create domain level indexes, so we need to grant the access to our this particular user. So I have logged into admin and the session is expired. That is so well. I just need to, let's try if this works. No, let's just try to log into our cloud again and continue. Let me approve that. Give me just a sec. Okay, so we should be in our cloud, and under our OCI cloud, let's go to databases, and we have the transaction database. If I go there, and let's create on SQL. Yeah, so we are there. It prevents this one. This is the particular grant statement what we need to give. Let's allow this grant, and grant is successful. So what does it say? It's then log out. After giving it, then log out and get back to the application, revisit to the same page again. Let's log it out, and I'll go again with our flow what we use. It uses the session sharing throughout our all these applications. So we go by this one, and if we go to Oracle text right now, we don't see the previous error. We see the Oracle text index does not exist. Let's create that index by clicking on the button, and it in the background it does all the stuff what we generally need to do, the manuals thing. And over here, if you see the one pretty beautiful report there, if you try to search the Julius Caesar in this one, so you get the result, right? What if you just do the spelling mistakes? For example, let's say instead of Julius Caesar, then you put ER and hit go, you get the results back. Caesar, you get the results back. Okay, and let's just quickly check. Does it use what do we call text function? Yeah, it uses the Oracle text function. We just need to remove that, or we'll put it later. I'll just let you know how things are working here. So you see, I have made the mistake there in the spelling. The original mistake should be Julius Caesar with the AR, and I'm using the ER, so it doesn't work. To make it working, what generally we do, let's say we are searching for Caesar. Let's try if one of the string can work. Nothing works. We could do the some fuzzy keywords we have in provided in the Oracle text. If you search it, so you will get the combinations with the fuzzy searching. So it used the CA. So based on that, it just searches the CA. So similarly, you could use something these Oracle text if you like. Let's say something like that, and it doesn't work. That's wonderful. Row blah 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 or a text. Okay, it doesn't work. Oh, that is based on the function actually. So for these make these working, we need to put all these keywords how we did for the fuzzy searching. to generally this is not a really ideal scenario for the users. They don't want to learn these keywords provided from the Oracle text. So for this one, this Oracle function, what the Oracle Apex team has provided, this package includes that particular logic. If you want to go through this, help text will provide you how the fuzzy search work, and you can replicate these functions to your database and keep using them. And this time if you try to search the same stuff, something like that, Caesar, with the invalid mistake, and you search that, you get the results. Basically, you don't need to put any fuzzy anymore. So that's the beauty of the Oracle text you can put on, right? So this is the example we have just taken from the Oracle provided application, which basically works on totally Oracle indexes. And let me just go back and revoke the access so that nobody should be keep creating these indexes to our database. Okay, I've just revoked this one. Let's go back to our application again. And what was that? Okay, no. The application was, we were working on 230. Okay, 230. Now that, okay. So that was the application we were working on. Okay, so that was the situation we have created on the Oracle text indexes, and how to basically work for, get the role in your user. Your workspace can access those stuff, and you should be able to create the indexes, and you can keep using those. Now, if we move further for the tokenized row search, which is, I think, let's get into this. How does it work? Let's say I just disable this one by default. If you create the application, by default, it is enabled. Let's disable it now, and I've created the example already. If you see the tokenized search, so how do we search in real scenarios? Let's get into these. For example, if I'm searching as in Blake, you get the results. That's wonderful. And again, you go for job president, you get the results for how many presidents you have. And similarly, if I how you search in a Google, pretty same way. If you go, let's say you put the Blake in space, you put the president in, something like that. So you should be able to get the record which involve the Blake and president. So it doesn't work when you don't use the tokenized row search enabled. So it gives you no data found. If you enable it and apply changes, and this time hit on go, you see you get the row search enabled with the token. Like, it is a tokenized search. It creates a token with the string you provided, Blake and president. It will look for the Blake keyword and the president in the same row. So it will give you that. So that is the that's why it is by default enabled when you create the application. But if you don't want to make this available to the users, but you can simply disable it from here if you really want users to search column by column. Next up, if you see the maximum background page process jobs, this is about the application level job creations. In the automation, generally we can create the automations, but what if previously, before the automations came into the picture, I'll just quickly jump to that. So these automations previously were not introduced. Basically, they after the adding into the Apex, what user could do, they can keep adding the jobs, and they can keep harming the database in the background. So it will impact the performance overall if you create a specific amount of jobs, and which basically can consume tons of database resources. So you can restrict these job creations, or you say the background processes. Restrict as in, it doesn't restrict to create, it restricts the users to basically run the jobs at the same time. Let's say if you put the 5 in the uh, uh, this field available there, it will allow our application to run 5 jobs parallelly. But the moment you start another job, as in another background automation, it will just include in a queue right after the fifth one, or any space it just figured it out like how many jobs are running. So it will just pick up the recent created one. So that's how it works. It helps the application developers to manage the performance of, as in the resource level. Another complete section, we have the availability. Under the availability, there are 4 sections. We'll go one by one. And let's say the status, it is completely for end user point of view. If you see, there are tons of options. One option is available, which says the application is available for the end user. Another one is application available with toolbar. So this yeah, so application will be available with toolbar. Let's say, let's try with the, if I change it to available and apply changes, and I try to reload it, you don't see any toolbar down below. So any user seeing the front view of the application, this one, whether you are a developer or end user, doesn't matter. When you access the application and your availability status is just available, you just see the application and you can just navigate through. If you want to see the developer toolbar, as a generally developers directly access the components from the toolbar, if you save it and reload it, you should be able to see the toolbar and you can quickly go to any component, how the Apex framework works. So you can just simply use those. And furthermore, available to developers only. So if it is there, so only the users with the workspace login, workspace credentials can access the application. And furthermore, if we go restrict access, it just nobody can access it. And unavailable is restricted access, something like that, right? And unavailable, it's like it just stops to running the application. And other two are pretty same, like unavailable status shown with PLSQL and redirect to URL. These stuffs we haven't just gone through, but these all are making things available, or uh, changing the front view of the application when you run the app. Going further, if we see another option we have in the application definition, it's build status. It says run and build by default, right? So what really does it mean when it says run and build? Let's try to understand. It is saved already. If you go to your application list and you click on any application, you can see the page designer, all the components of the app. If your uh, you know definition is set up to the run and build application, if you just change it to run application only, and this generally should be we should be doing it in the production environment, where uh, what it does, it just logs you off, or you say just get you out from the designer page. And if you try to click on this, it says this application is uh, installed but not editable. What does it mean? Like, you can only run the app, but you can't just make the changes. So this feature is, I think, targeting to the production level application where no one should be directly changing these. And how should we just get back this one? You just need to, everything is written already there. You just go to the workspace utilities and you can just change it. Only the workspace administrators can change it. And if I see my login, what I'm doing, I'm logged in as an administrator. So let me go to the workspace utilities, and workspace utilities, all utilities. I see on the, I think, right panel, build an app status. And I just need to search my app there. So this app I'm working on, if I click on this one, so this build status is run application only. If I run and build, just change it and go back to my app, app builder, and I click again. So I am again back into the application. So admin level users can just make these changes, and depending on your environment, you could just simply make your application editable or non-editable, something like that. So it works. For a third option under the availability, we have message for unavailable applications. Whenever your application goes under maintenance, or you are not, your application is not reachable or something, it will show this message, whatever you put in here. So unfortunately, we don't have the scenario to create this one. But yeah, the bottom line is, when your application is not available, so this message will be displayed on the dummy page for the customers. Fourth option, the restricted to comma separated user list. You could just put multiple status must be equal to restricted access, restricted to comma separated user list. You could just put the all the username lists in this field, which will restrict users to access the application. So comma delimited, as it says, you can have more than one users in this, and if that user try to log in, it will just stop users to logging in. And this is pretty basic, so we haven't just created the scenario, but it is quite same. You're putting in the user list and try to log in. Let's jump into the error handling. It has the two basic setting. One is the default error display location. For each component, when you see error in your application, you could just select three options. One is the error with the field and the notification bar, and another one is in line with the field, not in the notification bar on the top right, and the bottom one is the just inline notification, not in the field. So by default, it chooses the, if the error involves or associated with the field, it shows the error there as well and in the notification bar. Second option is pretty exciting, which says the error handling function, which means when I'll just show you quickly. If you I'll just save this particular function. We have used the error handling function. It is completely taken from what Oracle documentation provides. I will just go through that. For example, we have the sample validation over there, and I will just quickly show the table as well, what table we have used for this one. Validation. Yeah, for this one, if you see the indexes constraint basically. So there we have created a constraint on the column which checks this table has the two columns, ID and name. On the constraint, we are using the data should be Ashish and Sahai, nothing else it should be accepting. So if we try to, let's say, add a record, put something like that in ID and put something in the name. If you try to create that, it will give you the constraint check error. You can't just violate this. So that kind of error is not really user friendly. So what we could do as a or a database or application developers, we could have our error handling function, something like that, and we'll just go through the function as well. And this function should be let's search this one, error handling function. Okay, meanwhile, what I have done, created, this is the doc function we have just taken from what do you say, Oracle documentation. We could just simply go what do you say, Oracle Apex error handling function. You go to any error handling function what Oracle has created, and they have designed all the stuff there. They uses the lookup constant name. This is the main area where you should be looking at. It just catches the error code and extract the constant name from the error, and then looks up into the lookup constant table and then gives you the actual error message what you really want to show to the user. So if you try to look this table, we have created this table in our database as well, just to show. You see that. So the columns are just ID, constraint name, and message. Just for the demo purposes we have created. And on the very same, we have just created one a grid, just to, we can show the errors as well. uh, this message we have updated, the name must be Ashish or Sahai. The message is saved. And if you see again our definition, the error handling function is we have defined. Now if we go back to the same function, same page where we were doing this one, and now if you try to create something same and create that, you will get the beautiful message what you really want to show to your users. The name must be Ashish or Sahai. You could just manipulate your messages and show the meaningful error messages. um, Furthermore, if you see global notification, you must be wondering on each page why you are seeing this particular message. On any page you go, you see this message. So it is coming from the global notification definition setting, which is you could just access these from this substitution string global notification. You could just change any message if you want to show to welcome or something. So right now this is we have placed there, so that's why it is available on every page. And if you really want to see how this string substitution string is being used on the application, we can really quick go to the templates and show you on the page level. If we show on the type pages for any page, let's say we go for standard and you click there. So there global, there should be notification, right? Let's put on the notification. You see the global notification, it's on the body. Right after the notification messages, it comes the notification. So this notification message is coming from this substitution string and used on the standard pages. And if we look at other pages as well, so wherever it's being used, and we are able to see that. Right, so we go to the next section of the substitution strings. These strings are the static variables in our application definitions. We could use them as a if I show any sample what Oracle Apex could provide. If not, we'll just jump into that. You see the application name is coming as in app definition. So that app name substitution string should be used in these places. If we just quickly check what we have used, um, content attribute, now application definition, it's using the hard coded one. Let's try creating a page, and then we will use one of the substitution string. Let's create a sample one substitution string, and one of the icon we could pick up, and let's create. Right, so this page is available now. On this one, we'll try to create one substitution string and usability. So let's go to the definition. Let's create sample string. Let's put, okay, dummy uh, data for user, something like that. For any a sample or static text, if you want to use it, just copy that and apply changes. Let's go to the page again. Here, if we just try to create one of the reason, let's put the name sample substitution strings. And on the HTML code, if we really want, with the @ symbol, let's put the substitution string name forwarded with dot. And if we try to run this, you will see the dummy data for the users. So we could use these substitution strings for displaying the global data on multiple pages. So we could just refer this particular string with the at the rate and the followed by the dot. So this would help us to show, like the app name has been used, or the sample we have just seen, so that's kind of stuff is kind of flexibly available in the substitution strings. Furthermore, if we see the build options, build options are available, which component wise, if you want to include or exclude. For any build option, you could see there are only two options available. We have include or exclude. If you put the um, exclude and you use the build option, like the comment out for any component, that component would not be available. For example, you can see this particular thing, right? If I just go on this component and try to use the build option on there, so there should be build option. You see under the configuration, you have the build options. If you use the comment out and save it, and since it was using exclude, so that particular reason or component will just gone away. This is pretty useful when you have the multiple instances and you don't want to see few or specific uh, uh, components or page attributes, page reasons, items, whatever you call them, and you don't want to make them visible in multiple, what's say, instances, or let's say in a prod you don't want to see the logs kind of reason. So you could just use this build option setting. Further, if we go, we have just report printing and the copyright banner left. So report printing, we can quickly just look at. It has the print server type setting on the Apex workspace administrator, internal workspace. We can set up our printing server, but natively we could see, for example, if I want to show, let's say this one, I want to show, not this one, substitution string. Do we have constant lookup, tokenized search? Oh, this one. Okay, this one we could. So if we really want to download, let's say we want to see the download PDF. So it just shows the particular report in the PDF format. So this is coming using the native printing, but if we want to use any other printing server, we can just do our configuration, add a remote print server, and we could use that as well. For now, we don't have any print server, but we could, it's a pretty easy steps you could use. Just create a remote server, print server, and just configure over here, and you can download your reports in the desired layout, and using those templates and all. Like AOP is pretty famous right now, so you could design your templates and set the report printing, and you could use them. And copyright banner, that is the last stuff. You could put your copyright message in the copyright section. This is basically included in your each export. If you see, for example, the hint would say the same. You could put the same copyright message, the app name, the copyright, and everything. When you export the application, you will see this is being exported with the um, application export file. Let's quickly see this one. If I export and export the file, so if I export this, and let me share my Visual Studio. Why can't I show this? Share, you can see my Visual Studio, and if I just go and try to open this, so over there and while you're creating the app, you should be able to see the copyright message. So it includes in the copyright, so it helps you to track down, the application level copyrights. And I think that's all what we have for. That was the session we had for the application definition, and recordings will be available soon. Thank you. Anything we could do? Because do you have any suggestions or things we could do?
Uh, Nothing at the moment, but we'll get back to viewer with another video, with another discussion.
Cool.
Thanks, Ashish.
All right. Thanks. Cheers, guys. Cheers, everyone. See you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.